Good evening to you all. I'm Chandima Themakon from Sri Lanka SLT Training Centre, and I will do this webinar on today. Right. So can someone tell me that am I audible to you? Right. Okay. Thank you. Right. Okay. I will start the session. Right. In this evening, we are going to make a discussion about IoT. Right. So you know that it is an emerging topic in the modern world. Right. So this webinar is for you, who are willing to go with new technology, who want to learn new technology, and who want to make your life smarter, right? So this webinar is for you, right? So widen your horizon towards the smart future, right? So the webinar on Internet of Things for the new normal. So let's learn about how we can make a smart life using the IoT devices, right? Right. So this will be the outline of this webinar. So I will discuss about what is IoT and how the IoT technology has developed. So what are the technologies related to IoT, and what are the current applications and the future applications that we can use with the IoT technology. And I will demonstrate a small smart home setup that is available in our training center to you to get a familiar experience. And then at last, I will discuss about the future of IoT. Right. 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 I hope there isn't any issues. Right. Okay. In the modern world, have you experienced any wearable IoT devices? Right. You may have. You should definitely have. Right. So most of us wear smart watches, smart bands, smart tracking devices, so smart controlling devices, temperature, humidity control devices, maybe smart glasses. So you may have heard about Google glasses and some smart glass technologies that we can control everything, or we can get the information from the glass that we wear, and GPS trackers. So probably most of you have wear or experience with some one of these IoT devices, right? So because they are commonly available. So in this pandemic situation, so everyone want to measure their heart rate and blood oxygen level, right? So if to determine whether we have COVID-19 or whatsoever for the diseases, so everyone uh, tend to get a device that it can measure the blood oxygen level and the heart rate. So we can measure the parameters and get to know about our health condition. So the smart watches or smart wearable bands can easily measure those parameters and give the data to us. So we can we can be informed, and we can get pre-actions regarding our health, right? Right. So this is one of the applications, so famous application that you can use. So it is called Google Feed. So if you have a wearable device such as a smart band or smart watch, so you can count the steps that you have go in a day, or the amount of calories that you have burned, or you can get the data about your sleep trackers are there, like many health related applications, or many health related measurements are there in these kinds of applications. Sometimes for the Apple watches, there will be another kind of application. If you have um, any other brand wearable device, smartwatch or something, so there are many different health or fit applications that you can use and keep track of your health, right? So it is useful to our life, and it is useful to our health, right? So this is one example of that kind of application, right? So actually, what is IoT? So what is mean by IoT? So IoT means Internet of Things, right? So things means the devices. So like smartwatches, so smart bands, so the devices that we can use to get data, right? About anything, right? About anything. It can be health, it can be some any other useful information, anything, right? So the devices are called as things. These things are connected to the internet. So these things are connected to the internet, and they share data. So they share the data collected by the collected by these devices. So in the devices, there are sensors. So the sensors collect data, the things collect data by sensors. Then the things share these uh, data through the internet, and we can use this data and analyze them and get useful insights. So that is the big picture of IoT, right? So IoT is a, collection of sensors and actuators embedded in physical objects that are linked through wired and wireless networks, right? So basically, this is an definition for IoT. So these things are connected for purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and systems over the internet. So this is the basic idea of IoT, right? Right. Most of you have probably have watched this movie, right? So it is called Wall-E, right, or Wall-E, right? So it is about an small robot that is going to save the world. Save the world means, so the world is destroyed. So a plant is there. So the robot's task is to find a place that it can plant this plant and make the world green again, right? So that is the task of this robot. So that is about this movie, right? So as in this movie, so we are living in a complex world, right? So we are living in a complex world, and it will be more complex. It will be more complex in the future, right? So before 10 years back, uh, um, we lived in so the much devices are not there, right? So if I um, mention about 2004, 5, right? So there isn't much devices, but if we compare the today's world, so almost all the school children also have a mobile phone separately, right? So because of some reasons, right? So the world will be more complex in the future, right? So and the people are becoming lazy. So they want to make their life easier and do the task and automate the task or do the task with some machine or something, right? So people are becoming lazy, right? So people want to automate everything, right? And they want to control everything remotely by just a single click, right? So they want to control everything by a single click, right? Um, for that purpose, um, we want to see the data and analyze them, right? So if we want to live in that kind of world, so we want to get the data through the sensors and connect the data and analyze them and get the insightful decisions, right? So if you want to control everything from our fingertips, so we should have a system like that. So IoT is for that. So that is the use of IoT, right? Right. So I will discuss about the history of IoT briefly, right? So you can see a, Coca-Cola vending machine in the left-hand side of the screen, right? So this was considered as the first connected device or first IoT device, and it is a product that was made by some university students, and the reason behind this innovation was some university students tend to buy these Coca-Cola cans from this vending machine, right? So, but it is far from their office, right? So sometimes if they go to the machine, so the Coca-Cola cans were empty, right? So because of that reason, they want to make a notification dashboard in their office. So if the cans are empty, so it will notify the cans are empty in their office. So they do not want to go and check whether there are new Coca-Colas are there. So if Coca-Colas are available, it also notify by the screen in their office. So that is the reason. So reason is the laziness. So laziness. Um, so they do not want to go and come without a Coca-Cola can, right? So as a solution, so they connected this machine to a screen and get a solution, right? So that is considered as the first IoT device, right? So in 1990s also, so this John Romkey also connected the toaster, so a toaster to the internet for the very first time, right? So using the TCP/IP protocol, so he has connected the toaster. So this is also a early step in the development of IoT devices, right? Right. So this person, so Kevin Ashton, so he was a person. He was considered as the father of IoT, to because um, he contributed to generate this term IoT, right? So in a factory, when Kevin Ashton is working, he want to in a supply chain management system, we want to use the RFID tags. So RFID tags means radio frequency identification tags. So they were placed in the goods in the stores, so they can get the information about the goods, right? So whether the goods are empty or how many stocks are there. Likewise, the um, data can be obtained using the RFID tag, right? So, for that, when he was delivering some lecture, he has used this term called IoT, or the Internet of Things, to introduce this his RFID technology in the supply chain management systems. So that technology that he has used, right? So from that onwards, so this IoT um, term is used in the industry. So the Kevin Ashton is considered as the father of IoT. Right. Right. So this was also a IoT device, the fridge, right? The refrigerator. So it is made by LG, and this refrigerator was able to give you recipes or give you food recipes that you can make with the food inside, and it was able to give the condition of the food, and if you want to make a note, so by the screen in the refrigerator, it was able to make that also. So it is connected to the internet, and uh, it can give the information about recipes, notes, and everything, right? So it was also considered as a device that contributed to the development of the Internet of Things, right? So the first international conference on the Internet of Things is held in Switzerland in 2008. Yeah, 23 um, participants from 23 countries were there to discuss about the RFID technology and short range communication technologies, right? So, like Alexa and Siri, like Alexa, right? So, this was also a prior IoT device. So, it was a bunny that was used to um, tell the latest news, weather forecast, and stock market changes, and it was placed near in a table near your bed or working area, and it was able to deliver this information by connecting to the internet, right? So it was also considered as the early IoT device, right? So then many IoT devices has been developed up to now, right? So if you consider this chart, you can see that so in 2003, so world population is 6.3 billion, right? So and the connected devices to the internet was 500 million devices were connected, right? So, but if you see the timeline, you can see that so number of connected devices are getting increased, right? So the world population is also getting increased, but from a little amount. But so if you compare that to the number of connected devices, you can see so it is getting increased and increased by large numbers, right? So you can see in 2010, 2.5 billion, then in 2015, 25 billion, and 2020, 50 billion. So it is said that so every person has at least about 6 or 7 devices in their use, right? So if we consider ourselves also, we have smartwatches, sometimes 2 or 3 smartphones. So likewise, um, we will consume or we will use at least about 6 or 7 devices for our needs, right? So the devices are getting increased, right? Right. So now you will get a question about how these devices are connected to the internet, right? So many communication technologies are used. So let's discuss about some of them, right? So Zigbee, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Bluetooth low energy, 5G, 4G, 3G, or cellular networks, low power wide area networks. Likewise, the RFID technology. So many technologies are there to connect these devices. So based on the use, so we can select the uh, devices can be connected with one or more of these technologies. So based on the need, we can select the technology, right? So if you get low power wide area networks, so these are basically used in long range communication, right? So they are inexpensive and they are powered by batteries, and the batteries will last for many years, right? So they are placed in wide uh, areas such as fields, um, like such as the large industrial premises and commercial campuses, likewise, right? So the service, we do not want to check these devices for a long period of time. So because of that reason, so these low power wide area networks are used, right? So this technology consumes low power, but the quality of service and the scalability are the major drawbacks, right? So even this consumes low power and give us information, so the data rates, the quality will be low, right? So also we can use the cellular technologies like 3G, 4G, 5G to connect devices. But in this case, the drawback is the cost, or the operational cost is high, right? Operational cost and the power requirement is high. Also, some places cannot be covered by the cellular technology. So we have to do extra effort to cover these kinds of some areas, right? So basically, they are used to broadband communication supporting various voice calls and video streaming applications. Right. So if we consider about Zigbee, right? Zigbee also a technology that you can use to connect IoT devices, and it is a, short range, low power wireless standard communication method. So if you consider a smart home system, so you may have heard about smart home systems that you can control the devices in your home through the internet. So in that kind of scenario, so we can use Zigbee technology to control the devices or to connect the devices, right? So Zigbee provides higher data rates, so but at the same time much less power efficiency due to mesh configuration. So power efficiency is low. So as an example, in the smart home, so we are using the Zigbee technology widely, and the Bluetooth low energy, right? So Bluetooth is a short range communication technology, so well positioned in the consumer marketplace. So if you have considered your smartwatch or smart band, so that is using the Bluetooth technology to connect to a smartphone or something, right? So to share the data, right? So basically, it is a short-range communication technology, right? So Bluetooth Low Energy is optimized for power consumption, um, and it is mainly address the small-scale consumer IoT application, right? So fitness and medical wearables, glucose meters, pulse oximeters. So they are using these kinds of the Bluetooth and Bluetooth low energy technologies, right? So Wi-Fi is also a popular option that we can use to connect the devices. But so the throughput or the data transfer rate is high. We can use in both enterprise and the home environment, the Wi-Fi technology. So but the major limitations or drawbacks are the coverage and the scalability or and the power consumption, right? So there are some drawbacks in that technology also. So RFID tags or RFID technology, radio frequency identification technology, also can be used for the uh, as a connectivity method in the for the IoT devices. So, but their communication range is low, and basically we can use for the logistics and retail application in for the RFID technology, right? Because some RFID tags are powered, so battery powered RFID tags are also there, but basically the mechanism is so they will harvest the energy from the radio frequencies and um, using that energy they will transfer the data stored in the RFID tag, right? So because of that, so a very short range communication is there for the RFID technology, right? Right. So if you compare this chart, you can see um, um, with the data rate and power consumption and the range of communication. So these technologies are placed like this. So based on our need, so based on the purpose, so we can select a suitable technology to connect these devices. So both all of the technologies have their advantages and drawbacks. So, based on the need, we can select an appropriate communication method to connect the devices. Right. Right. Uh, so he is a famous person in the world, and his name was mentioned in the recent days again um, because one of his because of his project, right? So because of the services that he is offering to the world, right? So he is none other than the Elon Musk, right? So you may have heard about the Starlink project. So SpaceX has acquired SOM Technologies to the SOM Technologies is a company um, that is used to uh, give the connectivity to the IoT devices. So it will provide IoT services, and he is um, going to use the Starlink project to power up the IoT devices as well, right? So for an example, so this is a famous tweet in these days. So you know that the Ukraine and Russia is fighting, and you have heard about that Russia has um, destroyed or the connectivity, the internet connectivity has been disabled in Ukraine, right? So so as this person in the left side, so he is the vice president in Ukraine. So he has made a tweet about this um, internet loss, right? So the solution is that so by the Starlink project, so Starlink satellites are placed um, above the Ukraine um, geographical area, and by that project, they were able to power or they were able to give the internet connectivity back to the Ukraine, right? So no matter where you live, but where you live, so if this is so if you can't get the connectivity by a method that I have discussed in the previous slides, so these methods are now available, and these methods will be developed. So new communication methods or advanced technologies will come to connect the devices together, or to connect the devices to the internet, right? So Starlink service is now active in Ukraine. So more terminals en route, right? So you can see the satellite discs are in Ukraine now, and they are functioning, right? So this is the world that we are living in today, and it will be developed further, right? Right. So if we consider about the endpoint model, or how these devices are connected to the internet, so there are basically three configuration methods, endpoint configuration. So one is basically connecting to the internet directly, right? So with the direct connection to the internet, right? So the second one is, so the devices will connected to a gateway, and the gateway will connected to the wide area network or the internet, right? So the third one is, so devices will connect uh, to a IoT service gateway, and basically it is for connecting the IoT services, IoT devices uh, in the area, and that gateway is connected to the um, customer premises gateway, or the that gateway is connected to the internet through a customer premises gateway. Basically, if we consider a setup in a smart home, or like in a small area, basically all the sensors placed in our home will connected to a certain gateway uh, inside the home, and the gateway will connect it to the internet through one of the gateways that is connected to the internet, right? So basically these are the three IoT endpoint models that we can use, right? Right. So then you know about the connectivity. So you know what is IoT. So what about the data, right? So the main purpose is to share data, right? Share data to the internet, right? So it is said that, so IoT data is measured in zettabytes. A unit equals to 1 trillion gigabytes. So you can see how much of data is collected, right? So Cisco estimates that the IoT will generate more than 500 zettabytes per year in data, and it will definitely grow exponentially. So it will not be a linear growth, so it will grow exponentially, right? So big data analytics will be used, and cloud services will be used. So what we can do to these data? So we can collect these data, we can analyze them, and get insightful decisions, right? So the main purpose is to make our lives easier. So for that, we have to analyze the data and get insightful decisions, right? So that is the purpose of IoT, right? Right. So IoT applications. So the first one is an smart home application. So I will show you one of the smart home setups that is available in our Telecom Training Centre in Velisara. Um, so I will share my screen. right. Right. So, can you see my screen? Right. This is a smart home setup, right? So it has, you can see, these are the sensors, or these are the devices that we are using to get the information, right? So, temperature and humidity sensing devices are there. Um, PIR devices, it means so if someone enters our premises, so they can be identified using the PIR sensor devices. And smart contact switches are there. So smart doorbells are there. So smart, if you can see in the screen, so these are smart power sockets, and these are smart switches. The touch switches are also there, and there are many devices, right? So smart doorbells, smart temperature and humidity sensing devices. Likewise, there are many devices for different applications for a home, right? And the we can connect these devices to one of these gateways, right? So this is, so if you can see this black, right? So this black devices is the gateway, and all of these devices are connected to this gateway, right? So after that, so this gateway is connected to the internet through Wi-Fi or through a cable. This can be connected to the internet. So we can get the data from these devices and send the data to an application that we are used to control these devices, uh, and we can control these devices. So I will show you the application. Right. So this is a Boolean IoT setup, right? So right. So this is the IoT application that we are using to control these devices. So you can see contact sensor is connected, doorbell is connected, so multifunctional motion detector, PIR motion detector, and this can sense temperature and humidity as well. So they are connected to the internet, right? So if I can go inside one of devices, and arming means making active. So devices will be active after arming, right? So you can see now the contact sensor is active, right? So if I can, so this is the contact sensor. So I will show it here. Right, so this is the contact sensor. So contact sensor means, so for a door or something, you can place this sensor, right? So it has two parts. So when the door is open, so this contact is broke, right? So then a notification will be received to our IoT application. Right? So if you can see, right? So you can see now the door is open. So because the contact was broken, so we get a notification that the contact was broken and the door is open, right? So likewise, so if I connect the contact sensor again, it will give me a notification that the door is closed, right? So if I go to um, one of the doorbells, So if I arm it and press the doorbell, so you can see the doorbell is ringing, right? So it will give a notification with the sound also, right? So it will announce like so the doorbell is ringing, right? Right. So if I go to the multifunctional motion detector and arm it, right. So you can see the temperature, humidity, light intensity data are there. So right. So um, if I trouble or if I make some signal to the PIR signal, so it will notify that so someone is passing. So by the PIR or the IR rays, it will identify the movement, right? So the movement, the change in the IR infrared radiation will be identified, and it will uh, identify a movement of a person, right? So then it will quickly give a notification that someone is passing, right? So all of this information can be received by this IoT device. So if you can go to this graph mode, so it will draw a graph about how the temperature and the light intensity is changed with the time, right? So these are useful information, right? Right. So the PIR motion detector is also um, it will do the same function, so like detecting some motion of a person, right? So you can see that. So the devices are uh, armed, devices are placed in our home, and they are connected to the internet to the gateway, right? And um, no matter where we live, no matter where we work, we will get the notification. And by getting after notified, we can take the appropriate action for the notification, right? So that is the basic idea for these devices, right? Right. So if you see the other devices, right? So these smart power sockets and smart switches. So we can turn on the devices remotely from anywhere by connecting the devices to these smart power sockets, right? So think that you want to turn on a coffee maker from your bed, right? So this what you can do is you can connect the coffee maker to this smart power socket, right? So then by your phone connecting to the internet, so you can simply turn on a device that is connected to these power sockets, and the smart switches are also there, right? So you can for an example, you can turn off the lights, fans, anything that is connected to the switches uh, just from your fingertip, right? So this is an example for an IoT application, right? Right. Then this is an application that is available in one of our labs in our training center. So there are many applications like this in the world, and you can actually use them and make your life or day-to-day work easier by these smart home applications, right? So they are really useful, right? Right. So I will. That's all. Right, right. So I will further discuss about some other applications as well. So this is the smart city concept, right? So smart city means all the services and all the services and basically yes, all the services are connected to the internet, right? So in a city or in a town, right? So then if we want to get any service or if we want to plan an event, so it will be really useful. So because we can see what are the services that is available in today, and we can book or plan our um, um, travels, or we can plan our events based on the online services available in the internet, right? So this is very familiar to you now. Online retailing or online buying is there for food, so anything. And healthcare is also like edoc or mydoc. By online you can channel the doctors, and energy monitors are there, and basically also the ticketing services are available in there. So all the services are connected, basically connecting to the internet, and it will make a smart city, right? So it will be really useful, right? So this is the smart road concept, right? So smart road means so all the vehicles and um, all the roads, or all the signs in the roads, or basically all the vehicles will be connected together. So when we are driving, so we can get the traffic, so where the traffic is, and we can plan our routes according to that. So the for the traffic management, and for the disaster management also, so this smart road concept can be used, right? So it will be really useful in traveling, right? Right. So this is one of the growing applications. So this has a wide area. So it is smart agriculture or IoT applications in agriculture. So now most of the farmers are tend to use. So in Sri Lanka also, so they are using, they are growing green vegetables or bell peppers, and what to call the chilies are a popular option. So they will grow the crops in greenhouses, right? So think that if you go to work, so there will not be anyone to um, see your plants or treat your plants, right? But if you if you have placed some sensors and automate your farm, so you can measure, you can see what the plant needs and provide water, fertilizer, sunlight, or sorry, the lighting, anything, right? So you can basically automate the farm, right? Oh, in the livestock monitoring also, the tags are placed in the animals, and the farmer can um, get the count of their animal instantly by the internet, right? So smart greenhouses mean so we can monitor and get the quantity of vegetables or fruits in our greenhouses, and based on that, so we can deliver the um, products to the market efficiently, right? So basically, we can manage the crops, manage the vegetables or fruits that we are growing efficiently, right? So you have probably heard about drones. So DJI is one famous brand to manufacture drones, and if you know, so they are making agricultural drones, so that we can use to spray weedicides or pesticides to a large area in a little amount of time, right? So basically drones are used to photograph or videograph or anything, but now they are used to agricultural purposes as well, right? That will be really useful. So these drones can be connected together through the network, and they can um, divide the work in the field easily and finish the work in a less amount of time, right? So this is also another application. So the monitoring of climate condition, right? So think that, so if we watering a plant, basically what we do is we will put same amount of water every day. But if we can measure the soil moisture condition and the air moisture condition and the fertilizer need of the plant, so we can adjust the supply of water and fertilizer um, with the climate change, right? So it will reduce the cost uh, um, for the plants, and it will save money as well, right? So we can place sensors to get that data, and we can efficiently distribute or we can efficiently manage these plants in the field, right? So many sensors are there: soil moisture sensors, temperature and humidity sensors, and we can use solenoid systems to distribute water, or the sprinkle systems. So we can uh, easily turn on and off these systems from our hand, from the devices, right? So in the right hand picture, basically, so if we think about a plant inside our home or a greenhouse, so we can basically control the parameters needed by the plant efficiently, right? So water, light, fertilizer, anything, temperature, anything, right? Right. So this is also the also smart life or smart health applications that we use. So the you know about digital wallets, so smart bands, so smart meters for health. So the paying systems, likewise, so smart purchasing systems. So this is also a growing and very commonly available system by using the IoT applications, right? So one thing you have heard about that is some supermarkets are in the world that no cashier is there. So we are buying the goods, so we are getting the goods, and the bill is automatically settled when we are leaving the place, right? So you may have heard about that. So the goods are identified, so bill is calculated, and the money is automatically reduced from our bank account in that kind of stores, right? Right. So industrial IoT means, so for the industry also we can use IoT devices to automate the task. So to automate the task, we can use the IoT device. So many industries are using robotics now. So we can control and automate the robotic processes by using the IoT technology, right? So smart grid is also a famous concept, right? So we can basically manage our electricity resources by using the smart grid concept, right? So we can identify the areas that consume high electricity power, and based on that, we can manage the resources efficiently by using a smart grid. So that is very recent topic in Sri Lanka also. But if we try to adapt a system like this, so we can manage our resources efficiently, right? Right. So this is Another application, um, this is smart warehouses for the logistics and retail purposes. To all the for all the logistic and retail purposes that can be automated through the IoT purposes, right? So smart delivering, so smart shopping, and um, smart warehousing. Likewise, all the things can be automated using different technology. So here you can see RFID technology can be used, cellular technology can be used. So many technologies can be combined together. So the Wi-Fi technology can be used, right? So many technologies can be combined together and make a smart system, right? And I will tell about you one of any other application as well. Now you know that. So analytics are used in sports. So there are, I think there are sport lovers in this community. So analytics are used in sports, right? So but what about if we can place sensors uh, in the um, costume or in the player, right? So in the player or in the equipments that are used for playing, right? So think about football games, right? So if we can place a sensor inside the ball and with the players, so we can track the movement and the position of the ball with that sensor data, right? So these kinds of technologies are using in the world, and they can be used to um, get, or they can be used to get insightful or get critical decisions for the sport managers, right? So you know that the if you get cricket, so the Australian team or the Indian team, so they are using these analytics very well. So if we have seen like the Indian team, you may have seen that the Rahul Dravid is with the computer and giving instructions to the players always, right? So what he is doing is, so they are analyzing the game and giving the instruction by time to time. So because when we talk about sports, um, by time to time the game situation is changing, right? So the decisions should be made in real time, right? So for that purpose now the sensors are being using, so that sport will be more competitive in future, right? Right. So if we discuss about the challenges that we have to faced in the IoT industry. So there are few challenges as well. So as you know, so if you have, so we can get a lot of good things or a lot of advantages using the IoT um, devices, but there are some challenges as well, right? So sensing in a complex environment is hard, right? So if you think about a crowded environment, so if you think about a very hard environmental environment, so the sensors can be damaged. So the sensing will be hard. There will be issues in connectivity, right? So those kinds of um, issues will be there. So in the recent past also, we heard about that even um, some school children is facing some difficulties with the online education system, right? So if we talk about the world with the IoT devices, so these problems will be there, right? So the power issues also there. So as I shown in the smart home setup. So some devices can be connected to the direct AC power, and some are operated with the battery, right? So when the power is not available, so the functionality of the devices is a problem. So battery will be a solution, but um, so we have to replace or recharge the batteries time to time. So there are some power issues as well, right? So if you consider about the security, so we are sharing some sensitive data, right? So there are issues with the security is there. So the main purpose is to get the data by the sensors. So think about your health condition, right? So if your health data is shared with uh, any other company or any other person, so that can be a threat to your life, right? So likewise, um, security issues are there, right? So and the complexity and the storage. So you know that. So data is um, gathering day by day. So the amount of data that we are collecting is increasing, right? So we are to store them, right? So how to analyze large amount of data, right? So there will be problems like that, but I can say that. So if it has these kinds of problems, so new innovative solutions will be there, right? So new innovative solutions will be there, and this field will grow, right? Because of the advantages that it has, right? Right. So, um, so if you are interested in developing, so if you have developed some Arduino programming, some programs with ESP32 Node MCU, if you have used Raspberry Pi, so you have a chance to develop a simple IoT platform and test that kind of platform, right? So we have the availability. So Arduino is offering some IoT devices with Wi-Fi connectivity. Um, yes, basically it's Wi-Fi connectivity, and we can use these microcontrollers to connect the sensors and program. So we can get the data from the sensors and upload it into a dashboard or a cloud platform and visualize the data. So we can experience the IoT, the technology behind IoT with the microcontrollers that we have, microcontrollers that are commonly available in the market today, right? So one of the famous, most widely used solution is this ESP32 chip. So because of the facilities available or the features available in that chip, right? So Node MCU is also same kind of chip, but with some so USB32 has some advanced features, right? So SparkFun is also introducing some IoT boards, and we can use Raspberry Pi also if we are analyzing some video feeds or if we are using some image processing applications. So these boards can be used, right? So if you are an innovator, so if you are a electronic lover, so you can use one of these devices and make IoT device and test the technology with yourself, right? So this is one of the dashboarding applications that I have mentioned. So this is the application that is placed in a farm, right? So the farm location is available in map, and there are three slots. So so we can measure the temperature, humidity, and the other data of the farm, and we can real-time display the data with the dashboard like this. So it will be helpful, really helpful to get the decisions in real time, right? So there are many free applications, so free platforms that we can use to connect our IoT devices. So one is the Arduino IoT Cloud. So you can try these applications, right? So if you know Arduino programming, or if you know to program with Node MCU. So you can basically use this platform, right? So Arduino IoT Cloud is there, Particle is there, ThingsBoard is there, UbiDots is there, the Things.IoT, Things.io is there, ThingsSpeak is there. So this Adafruit IO is there. Right? Blink is also a famous application. So you can use um, one of these applications to connect to IoT devices and to create a beautiful, insightful dashboard like this one, right? So this is a project by the ThingsBoard platform. So if you want to go to the ThingsBoard platform, you can see some example projects in there also, right? Right. So so this is the last part of this session. So I will discuss about the future of IoT, right? So the future. So, so IoT devices will increase day by day, and more technologies will develop, or the technologies will advance. The recent technologies will be developed further to connect these devices, and the marketplace also will be increased, right? So all the things, basically all the things will be connected, and our life will be easy. So you can see the um, analyzing or the uh, approximation that is made to IoT devices, right? Right. So, what about the job field or the careers in IoT, right? So, if you know how to use the sensors and actuators, you can you can be a professional in that field, right? So embedded programs engineers will be there, and artificial intelligence, data analytics jobs, and network and the networking structure carriers. So because we have to connect the devices with some technology, and we have to analyze the technology, so data analytics carriers will be there. So connectivity, so the networking carriers will be there, and we have to make sure about the security of the data also. So IoT security or cyber security carriers also will be generated, and hardware and devices, vendors, manufacturing, designing. Um, there are many newly or many job fields that will be available with the IoT industry, right? And dashboarding, that is also will be a critical skill, right? So if we have a very good dashboard, we can, the managers or the CEOs can get the insight to decisions easily. But you should have the skill to make a insightful dashboard, right? So many different job fields will be available with the development of the IoT, right? Right. So that is basically end of this webinar in this evening. So do you have any questions to be asked? So any questions? Right. So you can place the questions in one of the links that is shared in the chat also. So one of our team will be answer this question as well. So if you have questions, you can ask, right? So the recording will be, I think recording will be available in the YouTube as well. So you can visit to the Sri Lanka Telecom Training Centre YouTube page, YouTube channel, and get the recording as well, right? So if you have further questions also, you can upload the question to be given link in the chat, right? So if you have any questions to be asked, you can turn on the mic and ask also, right? Right. So if you get any question, um, and please, yes, ask, right. So how IoT and robotics differ, right? So IoT means, so robotics means doing so we use robotics to automate the task that is done by the human, right? So, but basically IoT is getting the IoT is used to get the data. So um, the not differ, actually they are connected, right? So if you think about smart, you may have seen about smart vacuum robots, right? So that are commonly available in the market now. So if it is connected to the internet, the robot will vacuum the surface, and we can get, so if it shares any kinds of information, so through the sensors we can get this get that information. So actually, difference means, so we use the robotics to automate things, and IoT is used to get the decision, or get the decision uh, to do to analyze how the automation should be done, right? So from the IoT devices, we basically getting the information and using this information to get an insightful decision. So robotics is basically automating something that the is doing, humans are doing, right? So that is a difference, but these two fields are basically connected each other, right? So about the security, right? So so I have told you that, so there will be security issues. So some security protocols should be followed when sharing the data, right? So the technology will be developed, and some monitoring persons, or some basically if we use some platform, we are uploading the data to their cloud, right? So there will be issues, but the cybersecurity protocols should be followed, or the vendors or the manufacturers should be followed by with the development of these devices and sensors, right? So right, Node MCU means, so it is the development board, same as Arduino, but you know that the commonly available Arduino boards haven't the Wi-Fi connectivity, right? So if you want to get the Wi-Fi connectivity, you can use the Node MCU board. So it has the built-in Wi-Fi connectivity, right? So by connecting the Node MCU to a Wi-Fi network, basically you can connect the sensors to the internet, right? So, another platform is ESP32 one. ESP32 is a more advanced platform, and it also has the built-in Wi-Fi connectivity. So in Sri Lankan market, as basically the basic Arduino boards are available, but there are Arduino boards with the Wi-Fi connectivity. But as far as I know, so basically those boards are hard to find in Sri Lanka. But Node MCU and ESP32 boards are commonly available in Sri Lankan market also, right? Right, right. So business IoT and industrial IoT. So basically, um, in the businesses, we are using the IoT technology for getting the management, so insightful management decisions, right? So in the industry, we can use the IoT technology basically um, to automate the process or to control the process efficiently, right? So if you think about a manufacturing plant, so we can get the data about how many products are developed, so how to efficiently um, manufacture the products. It means how to save time and use the um, maximum productivity of the machine. So we can place the sensors, get the data, and plan the um, process for the development process accordingly, right? So that is the basic difference, right? Right. Any other questions? So you can upload the questions into the given link as well. Right. So if you haven't any other questions, so I will end the session now. So if you have further questions, so please upload them to the given form, right? So, so we cannot, definitely, I cannot say this kind of language, but basically for the with the application, we can use many different languages. So basically for the Arduino and the other things, so so C plus C is used, and if you can program, so there are not a specific language, but basically in the Arduino C plus, so um, some yes, not a specific language. So if you can use Python also, we can use them as well, right? Yes, I cannot say a specific language. So Arduino is based on basically yes C plus and if you want to develop basically that is the common language for the hobbies or DIY projects, but so application specific languages also can be used, right? So for your projects also, you can use Arduino. Python also can be used to develop projects, right? So if you are developing some image processing products, so many different libraries will be there, like OpenCV and yes, OpenCV. So you can use those libraries with Python or any other supported languages and do the task, right? Right. So any other questions? So if you have further questions, please upload them into this form, right? So I will answer them, or the team in our training center will answer the questions, right? So I will end the session now. So thank you for your participation. So I hope that you have get some insightful information from this evening, right? So thank you all, right?